A lot of people hanging on. Let me move on to Tim in Louisiana, listening on Sirius XM 131. Hi, Tim.
Hi. I have a question. I was studying Exodus. I'm still studying Exodus. And I have a question about the 10 plagues. And one of the plagues, it seems that was God destroyed the livestock. And at the end of the plagues, and the Israelites escaped, Egypt had horses for the chariots. Where did the animals come from if God destroyed them?
Sure. And I think this is a classic case in point where you want to read the text in the sense in which it's intended. First of all, Moses is offering an eyewitness account of these events, and that's very important. This is a historical narrative. This is something that actually happened, and he's an eyewitness to the events, and he's giving an account, and we have that account in the Pentateuch, in this particular case, in the book of Exodus. Now, the first thing we ought to do is offer Moses a great deal of charity, meaning not gratuitous charity, but charity that is well-deserved, because if you read through the Pentateuch, you see that Moses is a master communicator. And therefore, you wouldn't imagine that he would contradict himself within the same scenario, within the same small narrative, as important as it is. Within a few pages of writing, suddenly he's upside down, mixing up his story such that the story makes no sense. To think that would be very uncharitable reading through the Pentateuch. He's not likely to contradict himself within the span of this account. So, again, give him the benefit of the doubt. But if you look at Exodus 9, and you look at it in context, Exodus 9 speaks of the animals in the field that are going to be killed. So there's certainly leeway here to believe that those in the shelter would have been protected, just like we know for certain, because the text actually tells us that, I think it's verse 19, that the livestock of the Israelites were protected in the shelter. So that would be an explanation of where the animals came from. But the other thing I think we need to be very careful of here is that we don't become literalistic. We want to read the text literally, but not literalistically, meaning, for example, if you look in Colossians 1:23, Paul says that the gospel has been proclaimed to every creature under heaven. Or variously, he says, all over the world, the gospel is bearing fruit. Now, he's speaking within the context, a limited context, of the Roman Empire. And all has to be contextualized in that sense. You know, it's sort of like I'm going to a play tonight with my wife, one of my kids, Max McLean. I always say his voice is liquid brawn, and he's playing C.S. Lewis. And I'll come back and I'll say, oh, the whole world was there. Well, meaning I ran into all kinds of people that I never expected to run into, and so many people I never expected to be there were there, and the place was packed out. I mean, it's a way of talking. Or Paul is stirring up riots all over the world. Well, was he really stirring up riots all over the world? No, he wasn't, obviously. So you have to contextualize that. Or in Acts 2, Jews from every nation under heaven are in Jerusalem. Well, again, that has to be contextualized. And if you read it literalistically, you end up with nonsense. But if you read it in the sense which it's intended, then you do not. So that's the explanation. We go on and on about this. But this is all part of the art and science of biblical interpretation. It's a science in that rules apply. It's an art in that the more you apply the rules, the better you get at it.